just when you guys were thinking, man, we haven't seen an architect wine in a while, here's an architect wine. You know, there's a reason we don't architect very often, like the verb to architect. Patrick architects, I architect, we architect. That's the conjugation of architect, the verb. The reason we haven't done this in a while is because the wine has to be good enough, right? We are not under some set agenda here to make, guys, we rolled out the business plan and we need to do approximately 2,000 cases of Architect brand label next year to be successful as a company. We do not have those meetings. Actually, never. That's never happened. What we do have meetings about is we'll taste a lineup of wines or taste a particular cuvee that's been sent to us by a private purveyor, and we will sit down, Patrick, Tristan, myself, and we'll take a look at these wines and kind of go like, does this have the nards to be an architect? Does this have what it takes? Does it have the complexity? Can we get the price? Can all of these factors, can all of these boxes be checked to be an architect wine? And 95% of the time, the answer is nope. But today, the answer was yes. Yes, 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 indeed, yes. So we're excited. This is our first Napa Valley blended red table wine, right? This is a Napa Valley red wine, right? They don't say Meritage anymore. By the way, all the old cats used to say Meritage. It was never Meritage, it was Meritage. But anyway, that nomenclature has gone out of the system, just like Super Tuscan has kids. Can't say Super Tuscan anymore. But what you can say is Napa Valley red wine, and that sounds very fancy because it comes from the Napa Valley. And fact of the matter is, today's wine is indeed very fancy, but as you love with the architect, does not come with the big fancy price. So this is 100% Spring Mountain, right? We have our little honey hole up there on Spring Mountain. We had access to a wonderful cache of brilliant wines that were produced up on Spring Mountain over multiple vintages. And in this case, we had access to some brilliant Cabernet Franc and Merlot from a single vineyard on Spring Mountain in 2021. Baller. Go on Wine Searcher, whatever. Look how much Spring Mountain wines are. Like, they start at like 70, 80 bucks a bottle and go up. 120, 130. You know, think about the names up there. Phil Togney, you know, guys like that. These are big ticket wines. Very small growing area. So when we got this opportunity to work with this batch at this price, yeah, we bought all we could and bottled it up as architect. So 50% Merlot, 50% Cabernet Franc, single vineyard site on Spring Mountain, great vintage. I think all French oak, maybe a little stitch of American. I'm trying to remember how it was finished up. I can't exactly remember. The other stats aren't terribly important. What is important is the marriage of Cabernet Franc and Merlot in mountain fruit. That is the point of discussion here today. Because, you know, Napa Valley, Cabernet, 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 Cabernet. You got a Cabernet, Napa Valley, Cabernet, 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 Merlot. Merlot? Cabernet Franc? What's a Cabernet Franc? Merlot and Cabernet Franc are two of the most famous red wine grapes in the world. Saint-Emilion, Pomerol, and Bordeaux. It's all Merlot and Cabernet Franc in that neck of the woods, kids. Your Petruses, your Levangiles, your Pavis, your Ozones, name any great right bank Bordeaux. Merlot and Cabernet Franc. On the mountain, they grow even better because the mountain conditions with the higher elevation, cooler evenings, more structure in the wines, more power. So this isn't like Merlot. This is Merlot with Cabernet Franc. And they blend beautifully together. Just ask the gangs, you know, the guys at Chateau Cheval Blanc. You know what I'm saying? What's Cheval Blanc? Kind of like half Merlot and half Cabernet Franc. Same type of deal. So think of this as our homage to Cheval Blanc, but at 1/25th the price. That's cheap. How's the wine? Today, Cabernet Franc in the nose. That wonderful ethereal lift. The tobacco, the flowers, tobacco, good tobacco, like pipe tobacco. Florals, spices. Cabernet Franc is actually more aromatically compelling than Cabernet Sauvignon. While it doesn't have quite the huevos of King Cabernet, Franc has more je ne sais quoi. It's got more vibe. The wine has more layers, more notes. When you combine that with Merlot, especially Merlot from mountain fruit, with that stronger tannin base, Merlot that wants to be Cabernet, when you combine the two of them, it's magic. And today the Franc is really popping in the nose. Oh, dangerously silky wine, which you don't feel the mountain until right at the end, because the tannins, they melt, and then you're left with this wonderful underlying, just quiet, transparent structure that lets you know this was flavor grown in the mountain zone. Serious, beautiful wine. This is why we selected it. You know, every time we've tried this wine, it's manifested the same way. Just Merlot and Cabernet Franc playing so well together to create this, to us, almost like this perfect red wine. Absolutely gorgeous. Man, if you're a fan of Right Bank Bordeaux, this is manifesting Right Bank Bordeaux big time today. Real Saint-Emilion mojo in this wine today. But with Napa, you know, with a Napa, you know. And Spring Mountain, there's always that little lick of spice up in Spring Mountain. Spring Mountain, the terroir kind of gives you, there's just a little slightest faint hint of like cinnamon, little cinnamon stick in there. Ridiculously good wine, especially for the money. So that's what we're getting at. You know us, we are not very good at selling wines for more than they should be sold. $30, $29.98. Single vineyard, Spring Mountain, proprietary Napa Valley red wine, $29.98. You will not beat that with a stick. Cool package, cool label. Thanks, Patrick. Label looks dope. Especially with a little shiny blue. Looks great. Got a wax top. $30, come on now. Again, biggest problem is what, only 60 case pallet? Yeah, only 56 cases of this one available. And when it's gone, it's gone. So hurry up, get some.